Live on TNT Sports, let's first welcome to the ring the challenger from England, Zach Parker.
So what a night it is for the local man from Ashton-under-Lyne. Zach Miller is unbeaten. He's got loads of support here in Manchester tonight. The 90 challengers for the British and Commonwealth featherweight titles. Steve, this is a massive night for him.
Massive night for the kid. He reckons he can get here in 10 or 15 minutes. He passes the gym every single day. He's one of those kids, and it sounds like a cliche, Fletch, but he's Manchester through and through. In fact, the man behind him, Terry Flanagan, who won his world title in Manchester, he might be even more Manchester through and through.
And he's just come bounding down the runway. He's gone jumping into the ring. He cannot wait to get started.
And now let's welcome to the ring the defending champion from Scotland, Nathaniel, the Nightmare Collins.
Here is the champion, the unbeaten Nathaniel Collins from Bearsden in Scotland. He's world ranked, has power as well as finesse, and he intends to leave here tonight with his championship belts. He certainly looks the part, Bunsey.
He looks like something. I'm familiar with that character. I'm going to hold my hands up. I'm not sure where that character's from. It's a scary, ghoulish-like character, and he's a scary, ghoulish-like fighter. Fletch, he's on a run. He actually thinks he's untouchable and unbeatable at the moment, and that's good to take into this ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Fight Night Live on TNT Sports from the AO Arena in Manchester, England. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red and Unibet. We get things started with 12 rounds scheduled, and it will be for the British and Commonwealth Featherweight Championships. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Steward in charge, Robin Smith. CBC supervisor is Steve Hiscock. Our timekeeper is Gary Brennan. Our 3 judges assigned, all from England, will be Victor Laughlin, Mark Lyson, and Kevin Parker. Our referee in charge will be Kieran McCann of England. Introducing to you first, the challenger fighting tonight out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing black with red, white, and blue, and weighed in officially at 8 stone, 13 pounds. Hailing from right here, Manchester, England, he is undefeated with 13 wins. 3 of his 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zach Miller! And his opponent across the ring, he is the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing gray with red and weighed in the same as his opponent, 8 stone, 13 pounds. Coming to us from Glasgow, Scotland, he is undefeated with 13 wins. 7 of his 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending British and Commonwealth Featherweight Champion, Nathaniel the Nightmare Collins.
Right, gents, you both had your instructions in the dressing room. obey my commands, and most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Shake hands.
Well, Zach Miller had some noisy support of the weigh-in yesterday, and I can report they're here inside the arena here in Manchester tonight. He's taller, and he says if he wins tonight, he's taking the belts to the Chinese karaoke later on. But there's so much work for him to do, Steve, before that, against a world-ranked fighter in Nathaniel Collins, who's defended the Commonwealth title 4 times to this point. It's the second defence of his British title tonight that he won against James Beach in March.
2 kids that on paper, if you look at the stats, they're identical stats, 13-0, 13-0, but very different story if you just peer a little bit below the surface. His experience, Collins, is far superior to Miller's. That might be Miller's Achilles tonight, Fletch.
Both of them in there in black and red, and the trunks that have got more red on them belonging to the champion Nathaniel Collins from Bearsden in Scotland. He's only had a 10-minute drive or so to get here tonight. Zach Miller, but stepping up in class, stepping up in quality of opposition against a man in there in Collins who we know can throw with power.
What Collins is doing, Fletch, is he's fighting like a banger. I know he's stopped or dropped 5 of his last 6, and that's how he's fighting. He's looking like a man that's just got to find an opening, just got to find a gap. Miller needs to get his shoulders down and just relax. Easier said than done when you've got 400 friends from your estate watching you fight, Fletch.
Collins, the champion, a southpaw in there, looking to work behind that right jab and then throw that left in behind it. It's the first title fight as a professional for Miller, his first scheduled 12-rounder, and the first time he's fought an opponent with a winning record. And Collins is the first southpaw that he's been in with as well. And the big question is, how is this step up in quality going to affect him in there tonight? And it is the champion. He started off here on the front foot, landing the better punches in this opening round.
What he's doing, Collins, quite well is he's making Miller work when Collins isn't working. He's just backed him up. He's getting a little bit close with that foot, and without even throwing punches, he's making Miller work. He's making Miller use an awful lot of energy for a fight that's only 2 minutes old.
Both men in there, just having a look at each other, as you might expect in this first round. The British and Commonwealth Featherweight titles on the line. Collins managing to land it. That little exchange there will just provide some encouragement to Miller.
And that was smart thing, and it's the first time Miller's done that. He's let Collins miss with his left hand and countered smartly and moved. That's what he can do. He's a tiny little boxer, Fletch. Just needs to relax a little bit.
And there's the bell to end the first round here in Manchester. Welcome back to the AO Arena in Manchester. That's Joe Ham Sr. doing the talking with Nathaniel Collins' corner. What a night we've got tonight. 7 title fights, some with world title consequences. Some of the best fighters in Britain involved, along with men and women who have held world title belts. Every fight is fascinating in its own way, and we're excited to be able to enjoy it with you. Second round scheduled for 12 then, the British and Commonwealth Featherweight title fight between the Scotsman, the defending champion Nathaniel Collins, and the local man from Ashton-under-Lyne, Zach Miller. Just 1 or 2 signs at the end of the first, Steve, that Miller might just be starting to find his range, but you'd understand it tonight if he's nervous in there.
And he was nervous, and he was clearly nervous. First 2 minutes, Larry said to be pushed back. He was maybe overcompensating. He needs to just relax. A 12-round fight. He's never been this distance before, but maybe he's going to go there for the first time. Like, just nice and slow and nice and relaxed. He's already slowed down, picking his shots better. Collins.
Talk about the power that Nathaniel Collins brings. He's stopped 5 of the last 6 men that he's been in there with, so that's bound to be in the back of Miller's mind. There's already a really good atmosphere inside the arena, which is far from full, but the Miller supporters in here are really making themselves heard.
They make themselves heard. They followed this kid. This is one of the reasons why he's not had many tests. He's been selling tickets. He's popular. They're coming out for him. Whereas Collins has talked actually about how hard it is to become a star in Scotland. It's slightly controversial, but hey-ho, he's from Scotland and he said it.
Collins just falling short with that left hand and was countered quite well by Miller.
I think Miller's moving well, Fletcher, I really do. He's moving really well. Sure, he's under pressure, but he's not panicking. He's moving well.
Just started to find the range with the counter punches. The challenger Miller, who all week has been very, very confident, particularly yesterday at the weigh, and he seemed to relish the atmosphere, supporters with him in the room making themselves heard, and he seemed to be taking everything in stride. He's just starting to find his range a little bit here. Collins, though, we know, is a very, very dangerous customer.
And he's got that experience. And so they both got 13 fights. That's where the similarities in their careers finish. He's had the rounds, the season rounds. Great counter there.
Yeah, that might be the best punch that Miller's thrown so far tonight. Should make the champion take a backward step.
What's happening is their two front feet are clashing a little bit. That's causing a few problems. It's the first southpaw that Miller's fought, so he's not used to it. Collins is.
And there's the bell.
When you're leading, keep shape a little bit more. Sometimes you square it up.
Steve, let's have a look at this little counter punch that Zach Miller landed in the second round.
We know he's a good starter anyway, so
it was a shot, but he's actually got his foot, like I'd said. There's a southpaw clash of feet. Collins gets it every fight because he fights orthodox fighters most of the time. Miller's never fought a southpaw, so their feet are clashing.
Collins is a man on an upward trajectory, unbeaten. It's his 7th title fight tonight. He's stopped 5 of the last 6 that he's been in with. It's taken him to number 6 in the WBC Featherweight rankings. And the men ranked 1 and 2. Nick Paul and Isaac Dogbe go head-to-head later on in the joint main event tonight. So it's a fascinating night, really, in this division. 3rd round scheduled for 12. I think you'd say at this point that Collins, the champion, hasn't really been able to take control of things completely in there.
Absolutely. I thought he won the first and I thought he lost the second. Not a lot in either of those 2 rounds, so it could be 2-0 either way. I think Miller's just growing in confidence slightly, but saying that, so's Collins. He's getting a bit closer, Fletcher.
One thing that's worth mentioning as well, though, every success that Miller has is cheered to the rafters in here by his supporters.
That's an outrageous claim by you there.
Very competitive to this point, pretty even as well. Miller's been pretty good to this point, Steve, staying out of Collins' range.
Yeah, and listen, perhaps that's just something that's going to have to change. He might just get picked off because he is throwing bigger shots, clearer shots, and the judges do like to get Miller screaming horde. And I think Miller will at some point have to get a bit closer. That's when he'll be in full of firing zone.
Trying to get inside that high-held guard of Zach Miller. He's the busier man in the 3rd round in there.
He's just dropped it, a couple of shots just underneath the guard, a couple of body shots. Not a lot, 1 or 2. Don't want to show too much. Just have a little touch, have a little touch.
Collins is the man in there at the moment who's throwing the higher volume of punches. Just seems to be finding some kind of a rhythm here in the 3rd round, the champion. That's a really good shot. Snaking uppercut through the guard that landed right on the chin of Zach Miller. Best punch we've seen from Collins up to now.
Yeah, he screwed that right uppercut up, and then he landed the left cross. It was just a bit high. That would have been a really good combination. He meant it, Fletch, as well.
20 seconds of the third round. This has been the best round for Collins to this point. He was just caught there by a left on the way out, though, from Miller.
Having to work there. Miller's having to work there, but he is landing, he is connected, and he's letting his own body shots go. I think in the corner there, Joe Ham will be talking to Collins, telling him just to calm down. This is the screw shot, let's have a look. Good shot, and the fodder left just bounces off the shoulder. If the left comes crunching down, who knows? That's a good combination, Fletch.
Measured it, didn't he? And then landed it very, very cleanly, Nathaniel Collins.
I always like it when I see good shots that are intended, not good shots that land accidentally through a swing or as someone falls over and overcommits. I like shots that are absolutely intended and are meant, and that's what we saw there. It was a really good shot.
Steve Baylett is the chief second in Zach Miller's corner. Terry Flanagan, the former WBO World Lightweight Champion, is in there too. He's going to be handling the cuts. Familiar to this arena, of course, Terry Flanagan, and these supporters too.
This arena, this kind of atmosphere. I'll tell you one thing Baylett told me before we came in, this round starts. He said, Steve, I'm a little bit concerned about how he'll respond. I tell you what, he'll be happy with the way he has responded. He wasn't sure if the occasion would get to him.
Into the fourth, with the British and Commonwealth Featherweight titles up for grabs tonight. The champion, Nathaniel Collins, from Scotland, and everything the local man Zach Miller does is received extremely warmly in here by his supporters, who at this stage are dominating the room.
I'm wondering if Collins might get a little bit closer this round. He had a good third round, as you say. I wonder if he get a bit closer.
Really good left hand that forced the spray off the head of Miller. It's just starting to land more significant shots towards the end of the third round, and here at the start of the fourth, just starting to find his range and find his power. It's another little problem here that Miller's got to solve in there, but that was a nice counter left as Collins came in.
Miller's not been at all bothered by it. You know, he's stuck to a game plan. He's not panicked. He's been putting a lot of pressure with that. Without being hit a lot, he's been put under pressure.
Collins continues to pump out that southpaw right jab. Miller just falling a little bit short with his work, and likewise the champion too. And it's the Miller supporters you can hear singing his name inside the Manchester arena. Miller digging into the body, countered by Collins.
It can be outworked, Collins. You know, you can hit him with 3 or 4 jabs. He is waiting a long time between his own shots. Who knows?
Into the final minute then of the fourth round. Pretty even round this one. That's a good shot by Miller. That's been his plan so far tonight, to wait for Collins to commit and then try and hit him with sharp counters.
And it's worked, because Collins has thrown that left, the southpaw left, and he's overthrown it and been counted half a dozen times, Fletch.
Landing with a 2-punch combination towards the end of this fourth round. Good shot by Miller though. Another decent counter punch from the challenger, and that's the bell. So next up tonight, a 10-rounder for the vacant WBC and WBO super welterweight titles. Hannah Rankin looking to get her hands on the world title belts, and she's talking to Becky Ives.
Hannah, 2 world titles on the line. How are you feeling? What would it mean to take them home to Scotland?
Oh, I mean, the world. You know, taking 2 world titles back to Scotland made me so proud. So, yeah, I can't wait to get in there and get my hands on those belts.
Well, it's very calm in here right now, but this is the first time that you'll have faced a southpaw fighter. How difficult is that going to be?
I'm ready for this one. I've had some of the best preparation I could have asked for. I've been working with Lauren Price, Caroline Dubois, some of our top southpaws in this country. So, yeah, this preparation is going to be key, and I'm ready to get in there and show everyone what I'm about.
Wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Hannah Rankin comes next, vacant WBC and WBO super welterweight titles up against the Slovenian Emma Kozin, and we'll be joined by the unbeaten featherweight Raven Chapman here on commentary for that one, and everybody's looking forward to that one tonight, Steve. What an opportunity for Hannah Rankin.
It's a hard fight, and Rankin's got one of the rarest things in women's boxing. She's lost a few fights, but she still fights for titles. She's getting better with age, Hannah Rankin.
Into the 5th round then, between the champion Nathaniel Collins and the challenger Zach Miller. I think you'd say to this point as well, Steve, with 4 rounds gone, it's anybody's fight at this stage. Neither of them have really been able to take a grip of it.
I've got it 2-2 because I never ever score drawn rounds. I've got it 2-2, but you know what, you could have it 4-0, you could have it 3-1, I'm not bothered.
Good work from Collins, a little bit off balance as he came in there, Miller. Just missing with that sweeping left hook. The big challenge he's got to think from this point is to put punches together in combinations. He's been okay with the single shot counters, but he's never really been able to put Collins under too much pressure in terms of a volume attack.
He's got 2 things he's got to work on. He's got to throw a couple of shots, as you say there correctly, but he's also got to work on pace in Fletch. He's never been in a fight like this. He's never been where he's going in about a couple of rounds' time towards the 7, 8, 9. That's dark territory, Fletch.
You spoke earlier in the fight about the time they get closer together. This is the first time they've been stood toe-to-toe. They're very close now, and this is an opportunity for the uppercut to go in from Collins, which was thrown straight after a body shot that was dug in right behind the elbow of Miller.
He looked comfortable in close, didn't he, Collins, Fletch? He looked like a different fighter suddenly.
Yeah, seemed like it suited him when he got in there. Coming into the fight, Miller said his footwork, his hand speed and his fitness would all be superior to Collins. Find out about the fitness aspect in the second half of this fight.
He's just slowly, he is slowly getting marked up a little bit, Fletch, there. Just on the left eye, you can just see they've been working on it for a couple of rounds, Miller. He's also starting to move quite a lot and a bit erratically.
Yeah, this is the first real sign of danger, concern in there for Miller. Collins, as close as he's been, he's able to stand there and pick his shots at the moment. Seems very, very comfortable working on the inside. This is the kind of fight that suits the champion.
He's got closer and closer. He's stalked him. Now he looks dangerous, Collins. Looks really dangerous.
Looks like it's Collins' fight when they get close like this. Miller's got to solve the riddle. Got to get the distance back again. Managed to sneak a decent left hand in though as Collins came in. There's a bit of blood around the face of Miller. That's probably the best round of the fight so far for the champion Nathaniel Collins.
Bad on him, Tad.
Welcome back to Manchester as we look at some of the work here in the previous round. That's a really nice body shot, but he followed up with a really sharp uppercut, Collins. He was starting to put his punches together in that round.
That was the start of the round, Fletch, and he looked comfortable close. Those shots, they were on the borderline, bringing them up the middle on the outside, looked comfortable.
Well, there's quite a bit of damage to the nose of Zach Miller. That's what they were working on in the corner between rounds, and Steve Malett was also saying to him, listen, you cannot stay in there that close for that long. You've got to get the distance back again, and that's wise words from the trainer.
It is what they are, wise words, but easier said than done, because he's good at trapping you. He's good at getting his right leg outside your leg, Collins. You can't move your trap. He can do what he likes.
Collins getting close again here at the start of the 6th round. He's finding it difficult to escape at the moment. Miller, the pressure continues to mount from the champion, and these are hurtful punches going in. Damage starting to get worse around the face of the challenger, and this is a Collins fight at the moment. This is how he wants it to go.
It's a Collins fight, and he's enjoying it. And I've just realised, Fletch, here we are going into the 6th round. He hasn't got a mark on his face, Collins. Not a mark on his face. He's marking up quite a bit, Miller.
Collins Collins gets that left hand through. The pressure from the champion now is relentless, and there's no real answer coming back from Miller. Those counter punches that were keeping him off in the first part of the fight are now just bouncing off Collins as he comes in.
What's happening? These counter punches that work so much in the first, second and third, now they're being countered, and they're being countered quite heavily. He is marking up Miller, his mouth slightly open. He's having to work his socks off to stay in this fight at this point.
Collins won the Commonwealth title in only his 8th fight. He's been the champion since the summer of 2021. To emphasise the different circles the two men have mixed in, Miller's last 2 fights was a 6-rounder in Bolton and a 4-rounder in Liverpool. And he actually said in the build-up when the fight was made, I thought I'd be fighting some crank off the estate when Steve Mailer called him. He thought it was a wind-up, and here he is against a man who feels like he can go a long way in this division in Nathaniel Collins.
And we know Miller's prepared. You know that Steve Mailer's a good guy. He's a world champion in Terry Flanagan, but there's just a bit of grade and a bit of quality coming out here. Just a bit of grade.
The 6th round has followed the pattern of the 5th. Collins landing most of the shots and applying all of the pressure. This is a really big test from this point, you feel, for Zach Miller.
Yeah, this is when he's going to have to prove what he can do. We know we're finding out he's brave. We know he can move. But being brave and being able to move is sometimes not enough when a champion's on a roll like Collins is on, Fletch.
The blood continues to pour from the nose of Miller inside the final 30 seconds. That got a big cheer from his supporters, that right hand that he was able to land. They're still right behind him in here, and he needs them at this point of the fight.
Fletch is still in the fight. He's losing, but he's still in the fight.
Not sure whether that was a smile or a grimace towards his corner. And there's the bell. Well, he still looks like he's enjoying it, but they've got to patch him up in there.
They've got to do a bit of work in.
Let's have a listen in.
When you're at that range, innit? So when your straight shots are going in, yeah, we can't let him get to uppercut range. Yeah, because he's throwing the uppercut. Yeah? Right, relax a minute, give him a bit of space, man. Yeah? Got to try and keep at that range now. When his hands are up, it's easier to whip with a jab. Yeah? So if he's got his guard up, make sure we're jabbing more. Yeah?
So what Mailer's saying is absolutely sensible. Keep him at that range, keep him at that long range. Try and throw your shots long. That's, as I say, it's easier said than done. What Miller knows, he knows that Collins. He's just getting that bit closer. You've only got to get 2 or 3 inches closer. Your adjustment of your feet to get inside the arc of those shots.
Well, you'd say as well, Steve, is he looks fresh as a daisy, doesn't he? Nathaniel Collins right now.
He's waiting for the fight to start. Look at him.
So into the 7th round, this one with the British and Commonwealth Featherweight titles. I presume on your cards you've just got Collins now starting to get a bit of daylight between them, and he started this round well, Steve, backing Miller to the ropes immediately.
Yeah, he's pulled away in the last 2 rounds. It isn't just that he's won them by a point, he's dominated them. There's a big difference.
The champion in control. There might just be a bit of damage to the nose of Collins.
There is, yeah.
As well in there. That might just spur Miller on. He'll take anything right now. Real step up in class in terms of the opposition for him tonight, and he's been brave in there. He made a good start to the fight. He's just got to try and find an extra gear if he can for what remains of it.
He's got to try and find that gear, and it is a big step up in class. And what we're into now is, for all intents and purposes, round 7, but they're his championship rounds. This is where he's been before. This is where he's never been in a hard fight, though. Let's get that straight. It's a very different life and fight he's having tonight.
Well, let's remind you, this is the first time that the challenger Zach Miller has been in a fight scheduled for 12 rounds. The first time he's been in a championship fight, so this is educational for him. Never mind about anybody else. He's not been in this kind of situation before, so he's going to find an awful lot out about himself in what remains of this contest.
And we knew the occasion wouldn't get to him. We knew he'd fight his heart out. We knew he'd give Collins a test, but Collins still looks ominous as a threat, a comfortable threat.
The Collins tank looks pretty full at this stage, and he's landing the better punches in there. Would it concern you, the fact that Miller's starting to take long, lingering looks at his corner when they're in the clinches?
Not at all. I tell you for why, because he's a fighter that like, he trusts Steve Maylett. He's looking for things. He needs things. You know, listen, he knows he's going to where he's never been before. So every little bit of help he can get, he'll take Fletcher. Let's get that right.
Less than a minute to go in the 7th. Very competitive in there between these two. Really good fight to start what could be a magnificent night of boxing here in Manchester. Solid shot from Collins that brought applause from his corner.
I think that hurt Miller, that big looping left. I think it came in blind. I think it hurt him.
Miller continues to fight fire with fire, continues to throw punches himself in there. He showed tremendous guts and heart.
This looks, though, very much like an 11th round or a 12th round of a title fight, and not the 7th, Fletch.
Collins goes to work again. Miller looking to respond. Big cheer from his supporters inside the arena. Final few seconds of the 7th round. Collins doing the better work again.
More because his feet aren't working as well. But you can't just do it.
Welcome back to Manchester. Let's have a look at some of the work in the previous round, the 7th. It's a good shot that from Collins, Steve.
It's a powerful shot. He's coming forward. Bit of sting taken out of it because at least Miller was going backwards.
The main tactical advice that Steve Maylett gave Zach Miller between rounds while you were away is that he's got to keep away from the uppercut. That's the punch that they fear the most, I think, in the Collins arsenal.
He's got very good feet, Nathaniel Collins. You can win a fight with your feet, and he's doing a good job. He's getting close, he's getting out of distance.
One of the cornermen also made the point he's getting tired as well, which tells you that they think that their man is starting to find it tough in there.
Listen to me. It was the back of the head. I don't want to keep warning you. You're coming into 8 rounds. Don't hit him on the back of the head, even if he's turned around. Do you understand me? Don't do it again.
Kieran McCann nice and clear with the instruction.
They've got right in his face. Kieran wasn't messing around, was he? Good refereeing that, Fletch. Good refereeing.
8th round. Steve's card's got Nathaniel Collins ahead. The challenge for Zach Miller here is how much has he got left? How much can he find? What can he do in what remains of this fight to turn it back in his favour? He's still in there and he's still full of ambition.
He's still full of ambition and he's still in the fight, but he doesn't know what he's got left for the remaining 4.5, 5 rounds. He doesn't know, Fletch.
There was that uppercut again, just a short, sharp shot that comes in from Collins. And he seems to catch Miller with it every time he throws it. You can see why they're concerned about it in his corner.
He does, but he's doing a good job, or better job in this round, Miller, creating that bit of space so that it means Collins has got to go to him. But that's when you get caught with a counter, when you take that jump.
Nice combination there from Miller, who threw it and got out of range and did exactly what the corner had been trying to tell him. It's a good long left hand, though, that finds the target from Collins. There were questions going in, Steve, about the step up in quality tonight for Miller, but he's proved he deserves to be in there. There's no doubt about that. He's given a great account of himself.
He's proved he deserves to be in there against this champion, okay? And what's happened, Fletch, is it's a British title. It makes fighters do extraordinary things, and especially a British title fight in front of your hometown fans. I'm not at all surprised by this, but he has been flat out for 3 or 4 rounds now.
Collins got the best of the previous exchange. I think that's been the big difference, hasn't it? He's just been the slightly better of the two whenever they've got close like that. There he is again, just ending the exchange with the left hand of his own, Collins.
Yeah, his eye is absolutely in Collins. He's still picking away. He's landing heavy shots when he needs to. He's mixing it body to head. He's fighting like the champion he is, Fletch. Forget the fact they've had 13 fights each. He's that much more seasoned.
His demeanour's never changed all fight, has he? He's been cool, calm and collected in there. He's been in control of most things. Lands a really good shot. I think the uppercut might have got through, and he followed it with a good straight punch at the end, and then Miller right on the bell, responding with a decent punch of his own.
Good right cross at the end. I'm not saying he hurt Collins, let's not get carried away, but Collins certainly knew he got hit with a right cross right on the bell.
You've got to set him up. You can't just throw him.
Fitting in anyone.
Yeah. You can't just throw him. You've got to come off your feet. Yeah. Is that range there?
There's Solomon Dakers, who we're going to see defending his English heavyweight title a little bit later on. He's up against Michael Webster from Middlesbrough. One of the really interesting fights on a super card here tonight in Manchester. It's a real privilege to be here, isn't it, when you think about the standard of fights we've got to share with everybody tonight.
You know, I think I said to you when we were talking backstage, I think we're going to see everything tonight. Shocks, unbelievable stoppages, unbelievable bravery, some great knockdowns, some people doing stuff we didn't expect, and some people doing stuff that we maybe did expect were doing even better than we expected.
This has been a good start to the night, hasn't it?
It's been a cracking start. This is a British title fight that we'd be proud of on any bill. Not as a start with 6 more to follow.
Well, don't forget we've got Hannah Rankin coming up next, vacant WBC and WBO super welterweight titles against Emma Kozin from Slovenia. Raven Chapman's going to join us on commentary for that one. And the co-main events tonight, Nick Ball against Isaac Dogbay. That could be an absolute cracker. And then the roof will come off when Nathan Heaney challenges Denzel Bentley for the British middleweight title. That's all to come. Great fights between now and then, and this has been a really good one between the champion Nathaniel Collins and the challenger Zach Miller.
He's still there though, Miller. He's still letting his hands go. He's still coming back when he's caught with clean shots.
Collins, the 10th Scotsman to win the British featherweight title, the first since John Simpson in 2011. Scott Harrison won a world title twice. He held the WBO version. He's the latest in the line of men from north of the border to hold this belt, and he's defending it with pride in there tonight against the local man from Ashton-under-Lyne. Good work by Miller. When the distance gets a bit wider, when the gap gets a bit wider, he has more success. When he's got Collins literally standing on his toes, he's got a problem.
Yeah, well, as soon as Collins can get close and bringing the shots up and bringing the shots around the side, he dominates. It creates a bit of space. Miller can hit him, but again, Fletch, as you said about round 4, Miller's got to put 2 shots together from distance, not 1 shot together from distance.
Great body shot dug in there by Collins, just around the elbow. Miller took it well and looks to respond, and now they go toe-to-toe in the 9th here. Miller the one, though, significantly, Steve, who wanted to move away, and he was made to pay by that uppercut that snuck through from Collins again.
There were 3 or 4 really hefty body shots, and then Nathaniel Collins adjusted his feet and brought shots to the head. He is showing a lot of bravery here tonight, Nathaniel, Zach Miller, an awful lot of bravery.
Collins continues to come forward, continues to stalk him, continues to control the ring space in there. That's a decent combination, though, to keep him off from Miller, but the respite's getting shorter and shorter, and straight away the champion right back in front of him and throwing shots again.
And he's cutting the ring down brilliantly, and I can see Steve Mailer in the corner. He knows there's nothing that his fighter can do to not get the ring cut off, to not get himself trapped, and not to work away.
This has been an excellent round. Both men having to dig their toes into the canvas and fire shots at the opposition. Looking to whip that uppercut, the left uppercut, Collins once more. That's his honey punch in there tonight. And there's the bell. That was a really good round.
Cracking round. Hey, and you know the mad thing about that round, Flex, is that I thought that Collins won that round hands down. But guess what? He had to fight for every single second of the 180 seconds.
So what, media? Listen, he's walking in the back, catching these stupid shots. You need to be smarter with the boxing and then bring yourself up and down. You hear me? Okay, yeah. Just walking forward and not doing it, it's not good enough. You need to be smarter than that, you're fucking better than that, you hear me? Right, listen, you still need to get it, still need to fucking jab, you still need to bring your backhand in, then look to bring your shots up, keep the pressure on him. It doesn't mean you just fucking walk after him and close jab.
Apologies for some of the words you might have heard, but I think that's pretty much classed as the riot act being read to Nathaniel Collins by Joe Ham Sr. in there. They're not happy at all.
But he's absolutely right. Whenever he does step back, there's always one counter. Joe Ham Sr., I didn't realise it. I didn't realise he's a perfectionist. I barely think Nathaniel Collins put a foot wrong. He's just running the right act when he's just running his 5th round on the spin.
So 3 to go. The championship rounds, somewhere that Zach Miller's never been before, and he's in there against a very good champion in Nathaniel Collins. What's he got left? What can he do? Good combinations by Collins to start the round. Really accurate work at the start of the 10th here from the champion Collins. Popping out that southpaw right jab.
So he listens to Joe in the corner. He's not going to make any mistakes. He's not going to step forward and allow himself to get picked off. He's waiting. He's for the first time he's genuinely inviting Zach Miller in.
Tell you what, Buncey, if the rest of the night carries on like this, we'll all be happy, won't we?
Well, we will, but we're going home at 4 in the morning. That's the only problem.
Good counter from Miller. That's what he did really well in the early part of the fight. Blood continues to flow from the nose of the challenger. The last time we saw Collins, it took him 24 seconds to get rid of his opponent. That was on his Queensbury debut at York Hall. I think the feeling is that he hits slightly harder than his knockout percentage indicates, but Miller has taken everything well tonight.
And that's what you do when you're fighting in front of your home fans for a British title. That's what you do. You fight out of your skin. And what's more, he's fighting sensibly in this round. He's not just surviving in this round, he's fighting sensibly.
Just over a minute to go in the 10th. Still plenty of life in Miller. His face showing the scars of battle. I think the point you'd make though, Steve, when you see the exchanges like this, he's in so much control, Collins, and he just walked onto one there. That's a good punch from Miller.
It's a good counter from Miller. Miller's boxing really well in this round. This might be a round, I'm not sure if he's won it, but he could even shape this round. He might just be able to shape this round. This is a really competitive fight. I tell you, I'm going to hold my hands up. I didn't think we'd be in round 10. I really didn't. I thought we'd have Collins a winner about 8 or 9. I really did. Hand on heart.
Miller continues to have just enough success in there to get him heart and get him belief. Even though the majority of the recent rounds you would give to the champion Nathaniel Collins. Showing so much spirit, the challenger. Of course he is. Roared on by this crowd in here. Every single person seems to be behind him.
You know, you can't rule it out. I was talking to Martin Bowers in the week, who looks after and trains Denzel Bentley, and I was asking about the Nathan Heaney fight, and he said Heaney's going to come with 3,000 fans, he's going to fight with his heart.
Well, there's Liam Davis, who's a man on a roll at the moment, and tonight he's going to defend his European and WBC international super bantamweight titles against a man from Italy, Vincenzo La Femina from Campania. And he was saying yesterday, he's always got that nice smile on his face. He was saying in the build-up to the fight that he wants to get it nice and quick. And I mean, you wonder what 2024 might look like for Liam Davis, the role he's on.
Well, Liam Davis, I think, would expect to be involved in big fights in 2024, and I think his promoters, Grimsby, will expect him to be, and that's why he needs to look good tonight, not fall over his feet, and do a good job tonight, and I think he will.
So out they come for the 11th. This has been an absolute cracker between these two. Nathaniel Collins of Scotland, the local man Zach Miller, and they've been pretty much toe-to-toe for the last 3 or 4 rounds now. This one's been excellent.
You know what, Fletch? There might be people, and I don't just mean Zach Miller's fans. There might be people that think this is a lot closer because a lot of the rounds have been close. I've just given them to the champion. I've just shaded the champion on each of those rounds.
I would agree with you. I just think in the rounds that have been close, just the better work, the better qualities come from Collins. So there's been no lack of heart or desire or punches thrown by the challenger.
Not at all. If he had any bad rounds, it was, I think, about round 5 or 6 when it looked like Collins was moving into a bit of control. Looked like Miller might be struggling, but he's come back, he's rallied.
Good uppercut from Miller, really good from Collins, rather, really good shot. Pierced the guard of Miller and jolted his head back.
Well, if we doubted that Miller would, if we believed Miller would struggle over a 12-round championship fight against the hardened champion, our doubts were unnecessary. He's proven it tonight.
By the way, Steve, at a ferocious pace as well.
From the very first bell, this has been a fast fight. I said after 3 rounds, this looks like round 11.
And here we are in round 11. Good body shot from Miller. Collins trying to land the uppercut. Now he finds himself on the ropes. Now Miller towards his own corner. He's so tired in there though, Steve. Both men are.
Both men are. That's the first time. That's the first time that Collins has found himself trapped on the ropes. Not by design, but because he's been forced back and he's taking shots. Still looks in control, but he was forced back then.
Ticking off for Miller from Kieran McCann. Didn't like the use of the forearm. Final minute of the 11th. This has been a decent round for Miller. Blood spread over the face of the challenger. Both men standing toe-to-toe again, and both of them have thrown so many punches. They've given so much in there. There's no surprise they're shattered, the pair of them. Tremendous conditioning for both of them.
Both tremendous conditioning, both fighting their hearts out, and both landing big shots.
Look at them, going at it, toe-to-toe. Miller started it, Collins looking to finish it, then both of them fall into each other's arms.
Some of the shots there were phenomenal. I thought Miller, I'm not saying he hurt Collins, but he pushed him back. He's pushed him back throughout this round.
Final 10 seconds of the 11th. Miller took those two on the gloves. Both of them will be happy for the minute's rest between rounds, I'm sure, because they gave everything in that round. Brilliant round.
Look at him there, Miller, calling his fans, come on, saying to his fans, there's only 400 of them in here. It's early doors here, the rest of the fans are coming in. The people that came in at 6 o'clock have been treated to a classic.
Do not let him push back, you hear me?
The face of Zach Miller showing the scars of battle. He looks like he's been in a tough 11 rounds.
And he'll know it in the morning, trust me, but right now he doesn't care. He's 180 seconds from going 12 rounds in a British title fight. That's a club. That's a badge you wear with honour.
I'm going to make a not too bold prediction here, Steve.
Go on, my friend.
Zach Miller is going to throw absolutely everything that he's got left in the 12th round. He is going to empty the tank and some here.
Well, it's lucky I'm not a gambler because I'm not having that bet. Because that's obvious, Flint. That's obvious.
And they're going to cheer him on as much as they can. Two men with a warm embrace, two warriors who have given absolutely everything in there tonight. Final round. British and Commonwealth featherweight titles on the line. Victor Loughlin, Mark Lyson, Kevin Parker, three very important men. They're the three judges. Steve's got it in Collins' favour, but Miller's never really taken a backward step, and some of the rounds that Steve's given to Collins may well have been seen differently by the judges here at ringside. Good shot there by Miller. This means so much, Steve, to both of them.
And Collins is having to dig deep himself here. The last 2 rounds he's had to dig deep. The body shots, the short hooks, every single type of shot.
Nobody wants to take a backward step. Chopping left hand from Miller. Collins lands with a left of his own. Toe-to-toe again, centre of the ring here in Manchester. Brilliant entertainment.
Been hard and draining, Fletch, I would say, from about the first or second round. They have gone at each other relentlessly. Neither of them happy taking a backward step.
And there's hardly been a gap between them for about the last 6 rounds. They've just stood with their heads on each other's chest and thrown punch after punch. Brilliant start to the night.
Miller there sucking in giant mouthfuls of air to try and fill his lungs to get him through the last 90 seconds.
Both of them landing decent shots in there, but they just bounce off each other.
you'd have to say here that Miller perhaps looks the stronger of the two and is just forcing Collins to retreat.
The crowd in here, and it's only, what, a quarter full at this stage, if that. Singing themselves hoarse for Zach Miller. Minute to go. Miller landing really good shots in there. Smiling, look at his face. He's loving the night, Steve.
And Collins holding. What we've got here, Fletch, is a small hall classic in a giant arena.
Absolutely tremendous fight. Miller giving everything. Feels like he needs a big last round, and boy, he's trying to find one. Those shots continue to bounce off the face of the champion Nathaniel Collins. 30 seconds to go. It's remarkable that either of them have got anything left to fight at this pace at this stage.
It's the championship round. It's not the championship round, it's the championship round. Miller's never been here, and he's fighting like a man that's lived here for the last 5 years.
I tell you what, regardless of the outcome, Steve, I'd love to see this again, wouldn't you?
We very much will see it again. Scotland next time.
The final bell, and both of them embrace. Steve Bunce applauds. What a fantastic display by the pair of them. What a way to start this magnificent 7 card. That was a great fight.
And Miller is just delighted to get up. Miller doesn't think he's won. Miller knows what he's done here tonight has shocked people. Had he gone 12 rounds by surviving, it would have been fine. But he's gone 12 rounds by going toe-to-toe.
I tell you what, Steve, Mark Lyson, the judge who's nearest to our commentary position, just got off his stool, turned round, shook his head and went, what a fight, and then just walked past us. I think everybody around us is saying exactly that.
You know, I took my headset off for a little bit there in that 12th and final round, Fletch, and I know where we are. We're in the Manchester Arena. There's about 1,000 people in here. There's 4,000 or 5,000 empty seats at the moment, okay? And it felt like I was in a cauldron. It felt like there was 1,500 people surrounding me at York Hall. It's incredible they've managed to do that. That's rare that in a giant arena you can create that much atmosphere to make it seem like it's intimate.
Let's enjoy some of the action in the final round, because it was brilliant.
Some of the action in that last round, when I thought Miller pushed Collins back, you know, we use that expression toe-to-toe. We throw that around casually. They did go toe-to-toe. They went toe-to-toe. They went glove-to-glove. They went head-to-head. They went shoulder-to-shoulder. Kieran McCann did a great job. Just 2 warnings throughout the fight. They used a lot of stuff that was borderline. And as you that grin and smile, you love that grin and smile, don't you?
That made the fight for me.
Face.
That made the night for me. We're only in the first round. I mean, nobody's enjoyed his night quite like Zach Miller has. I don't know how you can put yourself through that and enjoy it to that extent.
You know the crazy thing, if that had been the last fight of 8 or 9 fights, which would have been a normal thing, we'd be going off into the dark, happy as you can possibly be after a night of boxing. It's not. It's the first fight. Not even 7 p.m. yet. What a start, Fletch. What a start.
And so we wait. I think we're ready to get the decision. The important man to tell us who's won it is Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Kevin Parker scores this bout 114 to 114, even a draw. And both judges, Mark Lyson and Victor Laughlin, are in agreement. They both scored the same, 115 to 113, both in favor of your winner by majority decision. And still, British and Commonwealth Featherweight champion, Nathaniel the Nightmare Collins.
Nathaniel Collins, a majority decision winner. The first judge had it a draw, 115, 113 from the other two. Nathaniel Collins retains his titles, remains unbeaten. But Zach Miller, Steve Bunce, did so much in there to enhance his reputation tonight.
You know, it's a cliche to say that the loser won tonight, and in some ways that might be the way. It wasn't a bad decision by any stretch of imagination, but he went where none of us thought he would.
So Nathaniel Collins has won it. Laura, what a start to what should be a magnificent night here in Manchester.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we've got 6 more of those, we'll have a great night, won't we? Wow, what a fight to open up things here in Manchester. Guys, that was really special. I mean, for Zach Miller, I suppose he can still go to the Chinese karaoke, even though he's not going to be able to take the